Okay.
Hey, welcome to Johanna Banana. It has been a while since I have filmed, and this is my first time that I am coming to you live. Yes, I'm very nervous because we cannot edit. So I'm trying to slow down because we all know Johanna Banana has a diarrhea mouth. And I wrote some notes. I got my Blizzard Lizard here, and we're going to give you guys an update, and I'm going to talk about my latest mistake. I'm kind of embarrassed because I went back to online dating. Yes, I went back to online dating, and that was just. I know. When will Johanna Banana ever learn, right? 13 years of on and off online dating, no boyfriend to be found, yet I still go back on there. One of the reasons why I go back on there is because I work with all women, okay? Our industry is very female based. I've only met one other male groomer. And so that's why I go online, is because it's really hard for me to meet people. And I don't have any game. I'm not like this big flirt. And so I go back online. Now, I do want to start out with some good positive news, okay? KP just had a baby. You know, my good friend KP, she's my best friend. I get a lot of strength from her. So let's start out positive before I talk about my relationship and the end of it. I want to talk about KP and her baby. Aiden, did you post the videos of
You
her?
should probably wait till somebody
What?
shows up.
Wait till somebody shows up to post the videos? I don't know if anybody's going to show up to this.
Not even Crystal.
I don't know if Crystal will show up.
They said Crystal is going to.
Yeah, well, anyways, I'm not sure. But we're going to go ahead and post. This is live, so we can't edit. Can we just go ahead and talk about Crystal now, please?
Hold on.
All right, Aiden's going to wait. Anyways, KP just had a baby, and we're so excited. He is like, 6 weeks old now, girl? He is adorable. I swear. He definitely has her eyes. She doesn't think that he has her eyes, but I see her eyes every time I look at him. It's like KP's eyes looking at me. Aiden, can you go ahead and post the pictures in the video?
I'm making a post. Okay.
He's about ready to post because I just want to. I want to show you guys.
Post a community thing. So.
Okay, he's gonna post a community thing that we're live. Oh, this is hard. I'm used to telling Aiden, cut. Let's work on this. Can you post it? Okay. All right, we're not cutting. We're just going.
All right.
Here we go. I'm so sorry, guys. All right, let's check out people.
Peanut.
All right, check it out. Our two kids. Yep. Here's my kid. Here's Johanna Banana's kid.
And that's my kid.
And there's KP's
that's
son.
John.
Yep, there
He's
he
just a little tiny peanut.
He's a little peanut. Yep. And then
what are they, like a 17-year age
there's
difference?
a 17-year, and then here are the other children. They have been banned because we all know Aiden's allergic to dogs and cats, but here they are. Yeah. Okay, so that was when Aiden first met Baby John. I'm gonna move Blizzard. Wasn't that cute? Oh my God, so adorable. Oh, and you know what is so amazing? Seeing KP as a mom. That is so amazing. Oh my God, I love this girl so much. Anyways, and Mama Sue, Mamacita. Oh my gosh, she's a fabulous grandmother. I love her too. Okay, Aiden already told me as we were watching that clip that I need to slow things down. So I'm going to try to slow things down. I've never gone live before, as you know. Okay, so I'm going to talk about my relationship now because I've had numerous people ask me, just because everybody has been rooting for me to finally get a boyfriend. And I thought that I did finally get a boyfriend. But like in all my relationships, Johanna Banana wakes up and she realizes, is this a real relationship or is this guy just using me? Yeah. Okay. So I went back on online dating. Now, the first person I ended up actually telling was a good friend of mine, Sydney. And I was so nervous to tell her because on Johanna Banana, I swore up and down that I wasn't going to go back to online dating, but it's just so difficult for me to meet men. And then I had that whole social experiment on Snapchat when I was trying to just get a platonic male friendship, and I only got one, my little brother. Thank you, dude, for being my friend. I recently just acquired another male friend that is awesome. He's great, and I'm hoping I can finally say that I have two platonic male friendships. That would be really, really nice because I have thousands of girlfriends. But guys, you know me and Johanna Banana, guys don't stick around with me. Okay, so go to online dating. Let's just go to, I'm trying to break this down so it's not going to be a long thing because I know I do talk too much. So our first date was going to be, I live in the desert. It's super hot here. It's like triple digits. And so I'm trying to pick a good place to meet because we all know in the beginning, guys are very cheap. And guys are very cheap and they don't want to pay for a full meal. Plus, they always say, this is what people say, well, why sit down to a whole meal if we're not feeling it? Okay, that's just BS, all right? Let's get down to the truth. Guys don't want to pay the cash, okay, on a girl that might not work out. And guys also typically know they're not going to get laid on the first date. So why bother putting out the money? I know guys' logic. I've dated so many guys. And so but they always say, oh, no, 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 no. It's so that in case we're not feeling it, we have an easy out. Okay, whatever. So I picked them all because of the AC, and I love to look at things. And it was great, okay? I went there, and we had a wonderful time. He did pay for my Jamba Juice, and that was great. And the thing that I really liked about him, because what I go off of, I don't go off of looks, it's the person. I need to feel comfortable with that person. I need to feel like I can talk to them about anything. And I felt really comfortable with him, and we talked. And here's another thing I should back up. Before our first date, we had been talking online for a few weeks. Okay, we started talking in early June. It was early June that we started talking. We finally met up at the end of June. And I really liked him. He seemed really good. Let's see. He had been divorced for 15 years. Okay. So I keep saying just, but he has been housebroken. What I mean by housebroken is he's married. So he's not going to always say like the insensitive things. He's going to put the toilet seat down. That's what I mean about housebroken. So I was like, okay, good, you're housebroken. He had grown kids. He had one son that had a severe disability, cerebral palsy. As you know, Aiden has autism. So we bonded over our special needs kids. Anyways, so the mall was great. Then after the mall, this is what really kind of blew me away, and this has never happened to Aiden and I. He asked me to go have ice cream, and Aiden wanted to meet him, of course. And so we went to Dairy Queen, and we both had ice cream. But here's the thing, right? What was the really, really cool thing, and this is a sad thing because I tend to date a lot of cheapskates and a lot of losers. What I was just so impressed with this guy is that he actually paid for your ice cream, Aiden. Yes, he paid for your Blizzard at Dairy Queen. Aiden and I were just like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is amazing. And he saw us, Aiden, as a package. And I thought that was amazing. A lot of my past people that I've dated and met, they never saw us as a package. And he always said, we're like a package. And I was like, yeah, we are. He bought you ice cream. And I thought that was amazing. Okay. So I want to say, for the first time in many, many years, I actually did have a honeymoon period. Okay. I really did. Like Aiden was like, you finally got it right this time. And all my girlfriends were like, yeah. And they kept asking me, Johanna, is he paying? And I'm like, yeah, he's paying. And I'm like, this is amazing. He even paid for your dinner once, remember? We were like, yeah. And so, now, as you know, I'm a give and taker, okay, because I have a tendency to give, so I know what it's like to just, be taken advantage of. So I want to say, even though he was paying for our dinners and stuff, Aiden would cook for him. He would come over here, and Aiden would cook for him. And I would take him to my lovely Chinese restaurant, and I would pay for him too. I kind of didn't tell my girlfriends that every time that I would pay because they got like they knew I'd been so taken advantage of. But the reason why I still believe in paying sometimes is because I was a dude for a while, okay? When I was dating the mooch, we all remember the mooch, I practically went broke dating him, and I really kind of got to see what it was like for men. Yes, I got to see what it was like for men that have to pay all the time. And I do think there needs to be a balance. But I still feel like in the beginning, when a guy's courting, not that anybody ever courts anymore, he should pay. I still believe in that old-fashioned thing. But when you kind of get to more of a relationship, I think it's good for the girl to pay sometimes because, well, we live in expensive times right now. Okay. So, like I said, it was a really good honeymoon period. He took 8 nights. He would come over all the time, and he would take us out, and it was great. And then get this. This was a first for me, and this blew me away because I've never had any guy that's kind of had their shit enough together to do this. Okay, so he invited me to Flagstaff. Yes, we had a romantic getaway. Oh my God, yes, like a couple does. I know. I was so just taken aback by that. And the really cool thing that I liked about him is he knew I was a true animal lover. So he took me to feed the deer. Then he took me to this, like, it was called Bear, Arizona, and you go and you drive and look at the grizzly bears and stuff, and I thought, oh, this is so amazing, oh my gosh. And I thought, this guy really gets me. He gets that I love animals. He doesn't care that I have 50 million stuffed animals, because some guys have mentioned to me that I might have developmental delays because of my stuffed animal collection.
No, it makes you seem
I don't know. People have said it to me. Guys have had a hard time with my stuffed animals, and I don't get it. Anyways, but so and another thing that we thought was so cool about him is this. All the other guys I've ever dated ask Aiden. They've always been afraid of my lizards. Yeah, maybe because they were lizards themselves. I don't know. But they were always afraid of them. So this is the first guy. You remember, Sydney, when you saw that picture of him with the lizard? And Sydney was like, oh my God. She's like, who dat? Because it was incredible that Johanna Banana finally found somebody that was like fine to like climb into her bed with all her stuffed animals and lizards and was totally cool with it. It was really incredible. And it was a great honeymoon period. So we did the Flagstaff trip. Anyways, he was over here like 4 to 5 times a week, like all the time. We were spending all this time together, and it was great until I got carried away in the moment. And I fell in love with him. I really did, because I really felt like he was made for me. I'm going to tell you the night that I first found out that I was like oh my God, I love you. I didn't say it to him, but I felt it for the first time. Okay. So we were at dinner, and this movie had just come out that my little brother had told me about. And he says, you would totally love this because, I'm a big dog lover. It was that movie Strays. And so I really wanted to go see that, right? And so we're at dinner. Saturday night was our date night, which I thought was really nice that we had date night. He would take me to a nice restaurant, And so we were at this nice restaurant, and he said, do you want to go to the movies? And I said, yes. I said, there's a movie I've been wanting to see. And he said, let me guess, it's Strays. And he already bought the tickets. And I thought, oh, this man was made for me. I know, I easily just fall in love with people. I do. I love people. I'm people driven. I'm a true social butterfly. I treat everybody like I've known them 50 million years. Sometimes it does put people off, and I'm sorry. I have boundary issues. But so that's when I really fell in love with him. But now I'm like, freak, right? I'm in love with this guy, right? But we all know, all us girls know the cardinal rule. You never tell the guy first, right? Because it doesn't go well, okay? But I had never told a guy that I loved him first. I could usually wait. But with him, for some reason, I couldn't wait. I was so happy. I'd never had a honeymoon period. I had never had a guy pay for Aiden. I had never gone on a romantic trip up to Flagstaff. I mean, it felt so wonderful, Anyways, so Aiden was like, come on, you got to tell him that you love him. And I'm like, okay, all right, this is right. Let's, I want to have a serious relationship. I see a future with this guy. He's the one. Why am I acting so immature? What makes and breaks couples is how they handle conflict and communication. Okay, let's grow up and let's tell him. All right. So I was all prepared to tell him, right? Aiden made this wonderful seafood dinner for him. So we're going to do this like wonderful romantic night. Had a seafood dinner, did all this. It was a Saturday night. And then Sunday, we always went to breakfast in the morning. Okay. And anyway, so we had the dinner Saturday night. We go to breakfast on Sunday. And at that point, then he dropped me off Sunday because Sunday was his football thing. He was busy watching football, which was fine because Sunday was my day that I like to play my video games and take naps. Anyways, so he dropped me off and I'm getting ready to play my video games. And then he sends me the most romantic text ever. He's just like, you're the best. And I'm, thank you so much for the wonderful dinner. I did pay for that breakfast the next morning. He said, thank you for paying for my breakfast. You're amazing. You're wonderful. You're awesome. I'm like, oh my God, but I'm chicken shit because I don't have the guts to tell you that I love you. That's what I'm thinking in my head, right? And so what do? This is where I made a mistake, but I didn't know, okay? This is my first relationship without my dad. We all know that I always went to my dad to consult. If I had been in this situation, I would have totally gone to my dad, and my dad would say, no, Johanna, slow your horses down, wait. But I didn't have my dad, and I was so caught up in the moment because I am emotionally driven, which gets me into trouble. I sent him a video. We all know I'm addicted to Snapchat. I love the filters. I love this looking different. And so I sent him this really cutesy little video saying how chicken shit I am and that I didn't have the guts enough to tell him that I love him. Yeah, I know. Biggest mistake.
Looking filter.
Excuse me, it was not a stupid filter. Who doesn't love blue hair? I know. Well, whatever. He knows I'm silly.
I think that may have toned down the severity of it.
Well, maybe it was. I'll never do this again. I will never tell a guy I love him first. I will never do it via video. I learned. I really did learn. But in a way, Aiden, I'm glad I did it because if I hadn't done it when I did it, well, we had been, let's back up. We've been together for 4 months. Yeah, my little brother's like, whoa. That was way too soon. Panic. Guys are just like, oh my God, it's a serious relationship. What do we do? And it was way too soon. I kind of now seeing back in retrospect it was, but I am emotionally driven and I get caught up in the moment. I really do.
Because the reason why I told you to is because I thought he did as well, but he clearly didn't.
Yeah, Aiden thought so too.
From that point on,
we really thought that it was going to be okay. We really did. So I felt safe with him. What you want to feel. You want to feel safe with the guy that you're banging. Okay. So anyways, I sent the video. Okay. Now let's say this is Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. Sent the video. Okay. We all want to know what happens after I sent the video. Let's find out what happened. What happens, Aiden?
Proceeds to ignore her for 48 hours.
Nothing happens. Yeah. Whew, yes, nothing happens. My Sunday goes on, right? My Sunday goes on. I play my video games. I'm giving him space and time and letting him think because I know he's probably overwhelmed, but I'm just like, what the hell? I was just so shocked that he did this to me, right? So I go to work the next day and go through work, nothing. Then finally, I think it was Tuesday, I finally break down to call him. Yeah, it was Sunday. I didn't hear from him, right? Tuesday, I finally call him. And at this point, I'm an emotional wreck, okay? Because, I was ghosted, basically. I don't care. I was ghosted. And I was so upset, and I just didn't know what to think. And so I called him. I was shaking. I was crying. Lesson learned, too. Don't call a guy when you're really upset. Get your shit together. Calm down, because guys don't handle it well. The only people that handle it well are your parents because, well, they freaking have to. Okay? So anyways, I called him. I was shaking. I was crying. Aiden was right here. And I was just like, I can't believe you didn't go. What the hell? I was just like, how could you do this? Like, and he's just like, calm down. Everything's fine. Like, he was totally just like placating me, everything's fine. He's like, I knew you were going to say that. That really, dude, if you weren't freaking surprised, why did you take like 48 hours to get back to me, right? And he says, but I had to collect my thoughts, but now I did, and I'm just like all good. And he says, I'm just surprised that you told me this. We just don't know each other that well. Really? And this is another thing that I don't get about guys, okay? Why can guys just have sex with you like they're just throwing a piece of trash away? Doesn't mean nothing to them. We were intimate. We shared stories, or at least I did. And so I felt more connected to him. I had opened up my whole world to him. He had met Aiden. He came over here. I had never gone over there. I didn't even think about that at the time. But it was really upsetting to me. And here's
and then he said
the
line.
The line. This is the line.
Forever remember.
This is the line.
His name.
Yes. Go ahead. Say the line, Aiden.
Don't worry. I will continue to date you. Like it's some kind of requirements.
You continue to date me.
I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Oh my God, I really didn't think you were going to continue to date me. My goodness, thank you. Yeah, and it was like boom, boom, but it was like a wake-up call. Like somebody just splashed like cold water. It's like, oh my God, like, what? I thought you were my boyfriend, but we were just casually dating?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been giving it up. I don't spread ego for people that I just casually date. Hello? And he knew that, and that's why he pretended to be my boyfriend. Yeah. I see that now in retrospect, But anyways, so that really upset me, and this is the thing. I was just in so much pain, and he was just so a matter of fact about it, like, don't worry, I'll continue to date you. I knew you were going to say that anyways. I couldn't wait to get off the phone. I was devastated. Yeah. I was not getting, and Ada was holding my hand. Here's another thing, girls. Have someone else listen to that conversation, okay? Really do. Because when that person tries to come back and be like, I didn't say that, you have a witness. You just do. Plus, when your emotions are running high, it's better to have somebody else listen to that conversation so you can get things like that. Because I don't think I heard that at first. I think you were the one that just kept reiterating that in my head, Don't worry, I'll continue to date you. That really bothered Aiden. You know what Aiden said? He said, i.e., he'll continue to fuck you. Horrible. Yep. Anyways, but I was still, because I really thought that there was something there. My dad always said to me, Johanna, you hang on too long. And I do, because I love people. Okay. So, anyways, I got off the phone with him, and now I'm going to do a tribute to my good friend, Miss Butterfly. I couldn't wait to talk to her. She is like a sister that I never knew I ever had. I love her to death. And I had already told her how he had been ghosting me, and she was just like, call him, figure this out, get to the root of it. And so after I got off the phone with him, she was awesome. She said, and this is why, Aiden, I wish I was a lesbian. Many guys have said to me, you have such bad luck with men. I don't know why you don't go lesbo. I'm sorry, it doesn't freaking work that way, okay? You're born that way. Why do guys don't understand that. I think it's because they get turned on about it, so they're like, but have you kissed a girl? I'd love to say to a guy, have you kissed a guy? Can you imagine if you said that to a guy, he'd be like, whoa. He would have total homophobia. But it's totally okay for guys to say that to girls. It's ridiculous. Anyways, so this is what I love about my girlfriend, Miss Butterfly, and this is what I love about girls. All you have to do is say one word to them, like, he said F you to you. And the girls were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, honey. Let me go. You know, they know exactly. And they know exactly how to calm you down. They know what to say. So when I told him, you know, I was on the phone, I was crying to Miss Butterfly. I'm like, I told him I loved him. And he said he would continue to date me. You know, and she said to me, she said, oh, Johanna, I am so sorry. I love you. This guy is not worth it. And I was just like, oh, thank you. And I was crying with her, and she just calmed me down. I love you, Miss Butterfly. I love my girlfriends. I'm probably going to start crying right now because, you know, what I told her, because I tell everybody that I love them, is because, like I said, you know, even though I'd only known her like 2 weeks and I already told her I loved her, and she's like, I love you too. You know, it was so natural for us. And we just couldn't understand how this guy who could like bang me, and then not fall in love with me. It's just, ugh. Anyways, thank you, Miss Butterfly, for being there for me. Okay, so it took me so I in turn, I didn't ghost him because we all know Johanna Banana was raised in the church and has values. So I don't like, and I know what it's like to be in the dark. I don't ever like to put someone in that position, even though they piss the fuck out of me, okay? So I told him, I need time to think. Give me some space. Let me heal. And so I did. I cried for a while, and then finally he came around. He said, are you ready to talk about it? And I was ready, and I was calm. And so we did. So we went out. We had this conversation out in his car. I didn't want to have it in front of Aiden because, you know, I was trying to keep it private. Not that I ever do keep it private, because once it ended, I told Aiden everything. But at the time, I was trying to keep it private for his sake, okay? Trying to respect his feelings. I know everybody is not an open book like I am. They like to keep things private. I don't know about privacy. Okay. So we had the conversation in the car, and it went well. You know, he basically told me that he wasn't in love with me, but he was falling in love with me, and that he was sorry that he ghosted me, and he really missed me. He finally felt what it was like not to hear from me because, you know, I didn't hear from him for a while. So he's like, I finally realized what it was like to be ghosted because you kind of ghosted me, not in the same sense. Here's one thing that I didn't like, though, and this was a red flag. He said, you know, we both fucked up.
Yeah, he never wanted to fully take it.
He never took full responsibility for it. Yeah, always. I know. Always still had to, you know, be a little bit right. And it bugs me when somebody always has to still be a little bit right, okay? Because nobody's right 100% of the time. If I fuck up, I'll admit it. Yeah, I totally fucked up. I'm never going to send an I love you cutesy video to a guy ever again. I learned from that. I owned it. But what I'm not going to own is the pale to comparison. I'm not going to own that. Sending a cutesy video, one thing. Ghosting somebody that you've been banging like 5 times a week for 48 hours is a totally different. And for him to have to put those two together as if they were the same, buddy. But I let it go because I really, really liked him. I was so in love with him. Trust me, girls, guys, I was so freaking pissed that I fell in love with this guy. Ugh. Anyways, but you can kind of see why, you know, you really can, because he was really good. Aiden really liked him too until then. Then after that, it started to go downhill. Now, I wanted to do kind of a timeline between the I love you video and when I finally said enough's enough, because he started to pull away, he started to get distant. Aiden suspected, he realized how strong my feelings were for him, and it scared him. And so he was off looking for a replacement. And I think he did find a replacement. So I told him the I love you on September 24th. I ended things on October 27th. So I gave him a month. I gave him another chance. Aiden said I should have never taken him back after the I love you debacle thing. And Aiden, you were right. I should have not taken him back because there was no coming back from that. I thought that there was. You know, at first I felt relieved. I thought, we got through our first fight, because you know how scary it is to have the first fight.
It's like burning your house down. How are you going to recover from that?
I know. Yeah, it was like burning the
What,
house
just gonna
down.
de-burn it?
I know. I know. I thought I could. I didn't want to let go. Anyways, he started pulling away. He started, texting me less. He used to call me Sweetness. Sweetness turned into Johanna this, Johanna that, which I hated. It reminded me of your father when we were going through the divorce, Aiden, because he used to call me babe, But then it was like he would about to say babe, and be like, Johanna. and so that always bothered me. And so there was a real switch. And here's the thing, he didn't want to admit it. He didn't want to admit the switch to this. And so finally I had it. Like, I was just done with this. I was done with being on standby. Plus it really bothered me. Once the I love you thing happened, it was a wake-up call for me, and it got me thinking, I don't really know this guy. He's right. He is right. He is so right. Because he kept saying, you don't know me very well. And I thought, you're right. I don't know you very well.
Funny thing is,
Yeah, I didn't.
Said...
I didn't know where he lived. Yeah, I didn't know where he lived. I still don't know where he lives. I don't want to know where he lives now, but I don't know where he lives. I never went to his house. And that was really, really weird. And then the other thing that was really weird, one Sunday morning, this is the time period after the I love you and before I dumped him, if we were even together to begin with, I don't know. But he left like really, really early in the morning, like way before I was asleep. And we used to always have breakfast on Sunday mornings together. And he left like super early and didn't say anything. And I was devastated. But I didn't sit in bed and cry about it. No, I didn't. No, I refused to cry about that kind of crap. So I just called my good friend LB and went to church with her, and I love her church. Thank you, LB, for being there for me. All my friends, all my girlfriends have been there for me, and I just love them to death. And I don't know what I would do without you guys. I love you guys. Anyways, so you could see he was pulling away. He was coming over less. He wasn't calling as much. He wasn't texting. He left really early in the morning Sunday. And now, Aiden, can we get to the final straw when he came over? Come over here. Aiden's going to sit here because Aiden saw this is a good another thing to have witness. Come sit down. Okay, so it doesn't matter. We're just going to go live. This is casual. We don't care. Okay, so this is the beginning. This is when I just had it with him. He came over one Tuesday. And Aiden was about to make his famous shrimp Alfredo.
Yes.
I love the shrimp Alfredo. But he came over and was like, okay, so we'll make some more pasta.
Well, first of all, it was really strange because he just said hello, sat down.
He just went right to our kitchen table.
And then immediately started looking at his phone.
Yeah, he didn't say hello. There wasn't a hug. He just felt so weird, and it made us feel weird. We're like, okay, whatever.
I'll keep making it, and I'm talking to him as I'm, making this, talking about different things about making it. Then right when I'm done with it, I'm mixing all the shrimp together. Oh, I'm not hungry.
Yeah. By the time the food was ready, the man said, "Oh, I'm not hungry."
The second it was done,
Aiden could have lost his shit at that point because Aiden's like freaking sick of this guy. He's like sick of this guy.
Yeah, especially because the shrimp, I had to peel the shrimp. I had to remove the tail from the shrimp. I did all this prep work. He's like, "Oh, I'm not hungry."
Yeah, and so okay, lovely. If this visit wasn't awkward enough, excuse me while I ate my shrimp Alfredo in front of you. Anyhow, so I did that. And then we went to my room to watch our shows. We used to watch these shows together. And but for the first time, I didn't want to put out. I think I looked at him for who he was, and it just bothered me because I just was like, I don't know where you live, dude. And I was still thinking about the Sunday morning. He had never talked to me about where he went. And I will say something about my style in relationships. And here's my thing. I don't want to change somebody. I've had a lot of guys try to change me. I know a lot of women try to change men. So I don't sit there and pick, you need to call me. You need to do this. You need to do that. That takes it away. Like, I'm sorry, if a guy hands you flowers because you demanded to get the flowers, are the flowers special anymore? Not really. So I really want to see how a guy is going to be. I never ask a guy, please call me. Oh my gosh, text me. I never do because I want to see how the guy is naturally.
Yeah.
Okay, I want him to want to call me. I don't want to say like, forcing a guy to call me. I don't get that. That's just not my style. So I never probed him. Where did you go Sunday morning? I never did. I wanted him to just
To
tell
be
me.
honest, what I think happened that day is because did you tell him, how far in advance did you tell
What?
him that
About
he was coming over?
which time? Are you talking about when you made the dinner?
Last time, on Sunday. When did you tell him?
Okay, which time? Excuse us.
The
Which?
last time when I made the pasta and everything.
Oh, he didn't. He would never tell me he was coming over.
I know.
He would just
so
come over.
He showed up.
He
on
just
his own.
showed up on his own. I didn't invite him over.
I thought.
No, I never invited him over. I was always on standby, Aiden. I didn't know where that man lived. I was always sitting here waiting. I was just always waiting, and I told him he could always come over whenever.
Because I was thinking you already ate at some other lady's place.
That's what Aiden said. Do you think he did? I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that night, I didn't want to put out. I just looked at him, and I'm just like, my feelings had kind of changed. I think I kind of realized, this isn't a real relationship. This isn't, and so I didn't put out, and Aiden was so relieved because he was so pissed at the guy. And anyways, but here's the thing. He asked me he's like, you want to meet the clan? Okay. His son apparently lived with him. That's what he called him. Yeah. When he didn't call them other horrible names, it also bothered me. But yeah, he said, do you want to meet them? And I didn't say anything back because the funny thing is I had wanted to meet his other kids and his daughter-in-law and his grandkids. I wanted to for a long time, many months. But by the time he finally asked me, I was just over it. That's the thing. I was just like, ugh. Anyways, so after he left on Tuesday, I think he felt it because I also wanted to test him. I wanted to see if I was going to ever hear from him again, if I wasn't the good, dutiful girlfriend to put out. So I didn't put out that night. And guess what? I never heard from him. Right? Nothing. Never ever heard from him for 2 days. I didn't hear from him for 2 days. Yeah, he was supposed to be my boyfriend, right? My boyfriend. I didn't hear from him for 2 days. So finally, when he did, because he was going to come over Friday, because I was taking Saturday off, because the one thing, I had purchased tickets for us to go to the reptile sanctuary. I bought him a ticket too, because the one thing that we had in common was the reptiles. So I thought, let's get back to what we have in common, And so I said, I asked him on Saturday, I asked him on Tuesday, I said, I'm going to get tickets for the sanctuary. Let's go on Saturday morning. And he was all for it. But by the time Friday came and I hadn't heard from him in 2 days, and he sent me some PC text message like he didn't even know me. Have a great day. Screw that crap. I was just like, I'm done. I am not about to go to a reptile sanctuary with somebody that could care less about me. And that's kind of how I felt, And so I texted him back. I said, let's go to a park. I don't want to break up with him here at my house. I've already had enough damn memories of him at my place because he was always here. And so I said, let's go to a park. So we went to a park, and it took me a little bit of courage. Like, it took me a little bit, he fed the ducks, and I sat there really quietly, and I was trying to get my thing up to say, and I didn't even know how to say this. I really didn't. But I go back to I grew up in counseling, okay? And so I go back to my counseling roots, okay? And I try to, and I'm emotionally driven. And so I just go with how I'm feeling, okay? And so this is how I started it. I said, I'm not happy. That's how I started it. And it's the truth, I wasn't happy. I said, I'm not happy. I don't really feel like we're progressing. Then we weren't. I said, I feel like you changed. And he's like, how so? And he listed off. I didn't block you. I still answer when you call. I still come over 3 times a week. I don't know what the problem is. Like, it's a requirement. It brought me back to my dad's marital counseling. My dad, Episcopal priest, he did a lot of premarital counseling, marriage counseling. And the one thing that used to crack me up that my dad used to say, that men used to say, to these wives that are sitting here crying over whatever the thing is. I'm still here.
Get out here.
It's just like that. That's like it's like you took an exam but you failed, but I wrote my name on the top. It's like that. It's the stupidest thing. It's like, oh, I just hated that. And so at that point, I was just, and so I told him, I told him my speech, how I'm not demanding. I wanted to see how, he was. I said, but I would like, I think if you're in a relationship with a boyfriend, if you didn't see them that day, they should call you that day. Just to check in. It only takes 2 minutes. Maybe if you're not feeling it, hey, babe, I'm tired, had a long day, just wanted to hear your voice, love you, good night. That takes 2 minutes of your time. I'm sorry, but if you're banging somebody, can't you call them? And he refused to do that. He was just like, he's like, that's stupid. I don't see why I have to call you every day. Okay, all right, okay. And he was starting to get very defensive. You know how guys get very, and women too, but guys typically get very, very defensive when the women are like, I want this, I want, And so he started to get defensive. And so how I broke up, because I could feel the tensions, the emotions running high. And at this point, I was calm at this point. So I could use some of my dad's skills. He taught me a lot of how to de-escalate situations. And so this is what I said. I said, you know where we're at? I said, guess where we're at now? And he looked at me and he's like, where? We're at an impasse. Yep, we're at an impasse. And so you know what my dad would say when we're at an impasse? And he would be like, what? Walk away, walk away, walk away. And so that's what we did. We walked away. And as I'm going to the car and he's going to go drop me off, he's rambling on, I guess I just didn't have enough time to tell you how I felt, blah, blah, blah. And I don't even care. Like, I'm not even listening to his little rants because I am over it, buddy. I am over it. Yeah, I'm just over it. Yeah, he was saying stuff like, I think I would eventually fall in love with you, but I don't know, maybe not, blah, blah. He was just doing all that, and I was just like, 7 months, dude. 7 months. I go back to what...
The only reason why we know it was 7 months is because he kept counting it.
That was...
some kind
yes, that was the thing, too. I said, that's the thing. I did call him out on that. He said, there was the weird thing. I wasn't keeping track of how long we were together, but he was keeping track. And I said, why were you keeping track? I said, why? You wanted the axe to fall? And then he's like, yeah, the axe did fall. I'm like, yeah, it did, because I was losing my mind. Anyways, I just let him go on and on and on and on. Just his little cocking, trying to think that I was going to somehow beg him to come back. But I wasn't, I am desperate. I do want a boyfriend, but I'm not that freaking desperate. I'm not. So he wanted to walk me to the door, but I didn't want him to walk me to the door because I could feel the tears starting to fall. And I couldn't wait to call my cousin. My cousin is one of my people, my consultant, Elle, and then my cousin with the pool. They're like my dad. And Miss Butterfly. You three are like my dad. It takes 3 of you, but you're like my dad. And so I had to call. I couldn't wait. Like he even kept saying, because I kept telling him, here's another thing, that a reason why I ended the relationship with him is after the first time when I called him about my I love you debacle, and I was all emotional and he was all freaking out, and then he gave me this big lecture on how I need to calm down. I thought, I can't be in a relationship with a guy that I can't emotionally throw up on or get really sad with. And so...
because we had that one realization where it's just, I wouldn't call him.
Yeah, I wouldn't... Yeah, and then one of his neighbors said that she always went to him with her problems, and I'm thinking, I wouldn't go to him with my problems. That was another wake-up call to me, so I thought... But, so... as he's walking me to the door, I didn't want to start crying because I knew he didn't handle emotion well, and I just really wanted to. I could not wait to call my cousin, And he was saying and he said to me, he's like, I'm sorry you don't have anybody to talk to. And I'm thinking, I have a lot of people to talk to. I don't want to talk to you, I'm trying to get to the damn door, and I'm trying not to cry. And he's telling me, Johanna, don't cry, and he hugged me. So how am I not supposed to cry when he freaking hugged me? Okay, so let's get to the part. And here's another thing. Okay, here's another thing. I grew up in a household where, and they told my dad this, where ramifications was like a big poster. My dad's like, your words, your actions, they affect other people. Okay. And it really pisses me off when a lot of people don't think that. So I like to show people how their actions have affected me. So yeah, I will cry in front of guys. I will. And since he insisted to walk me to the door, I was like, screw it. I can't help it. I'm going to cry. So I cried. And I was so grateful that Aiden opened the door because I wanted him, because he was really nervous, Aiden, saving face with you. Because he told me, as he was walking me to the door, Aiden, he's like, now, Johanna, don't go home and cry about this. It's okay. Just go home. Just play your videos. Don't cry about it. Yeah. No, buddy. No. I want you to see the damage. So I cried, and he was like, "Oh, Johanna," and I did kind of pull on to him a little longer, and then I finally did push him away. And luckily, as I'm crying, Aiden, you opened the door, so he got to see. There's no saving face, buddy. He got to see Aiden open the door as I'm crying. And what did you do, Aiden? And I hope he saw this. I didn't see this because I, at this point, was pretty emotional.
All I did was I just quickly looked at him and then I just kind of just went,
yeah.
And I just closed everything.
Yeah. Okay. So there is one thing, and I don't know if it's going to happen.
Because I could tell he was looking back.
Yeah.
As he was walking.
Of course he was looking back. Yeah, he was looking back. Yeah, saying goodbye to that piece of ass that he's not going to have anymore. That's all I was to him, was a piece of ass.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that he did tell me, and I'm a little bit nervous about, but I'm thinking after he saw you shaking his head, this probably won't ever come to play. When he was driving me home, he was telling me, he says, I already got you your Christmas present, and I'm going to put it on, I have a patio, I'm going to put it on your patio. I don't know when he said it, I didn't even know, because I was trying not to listen to him. He was like, I'm going to put it on your patio, I guess around that time. I hope he doesn't. Yeah. If he does, I obviously I don't want to see him. I'll let Aiden handle that. And of course I'll let you guys know too if he does. But I hope he doesn't. I hope him seeing Aiden shaking his head made him realize that, yeah, you fucked up. Yeah. But anyways, I learned from it, okay? I learned from it. I really did. I learned that it was June to October. It was too soon to tell that person that you loved him. I didn't know him well enough. I caught up in the moment. One of my girlfriends told me, and I thought this was a really good statement. She said, you fell in love with what you saw. And that's true. I fell in love with what he showed me for that first 4 months, what he showed Aiden and I.
It's like buying something online. You like what you see and what they present.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you get it, and it's
and
like,
then you realize it broke like 6 months later. Like, what happened here? Yeah. Yeah. So I learned that I definitely need to slow things down. There was other red flags that I ignored. One of them was, and this was one of them.
I hated this.
This is another.
I don't know why you even moved forward.
I know. Well, because I had a guy pay for me. Yeah.
I know.
He was rude to the waiters and waitresses. Yes. He didn't tip properly. He got very mad at me for tipping 20%. Yes, I tip 20%. Yes, I do. People work hard. My dad instilled in me that the whole damn world is underloved and underappreciated. If you want to be anything in this world, be freaking kind, okay? Yeah. Dude, be kind. And you don't know, like my dad, I used to get annoyed if people would get mad at me, and my dad would be like, you don't know what's going on in their lives, Johanna. And I'm like, okay, Dad, you're right, And so I am very much my father's daughter. And I am very nice. And where did my dad get his niceness from? I found out because I just visited my aunt this past Halloween. I found out from my grandmother. Apparently, I never knew my grandmother. She passed away when I was 5. So I found out that my grandmother treated everybody like they were her best friend, regardless of age, skin color, race, and I'm that way. I've dated the entire rainbow. And all my friends are all different ages. And I just treat everybody like I've known them forever, partly because I did grow up in a church. But it's just my personality. And I think it started with my grandmother, I found out. And then she passed that down to my dad. My dad was very much like that. And so I try to do that way. And so that was a red flag too. So I got so caught up in the moment, and that's what I really gotta stop doing, is getting caught up in the moment. I am such a little girl. I get so excited so easily. I have to calm down and just really look at the red flags. That night that I was falling in love with him because he had already got tickets to that movie that I wanted to see, he berated the waiter for bringing out the appetizer too late. Yeah, too late. And there were times when I pretended to go to the bathroom just to put some extra money on the tip table. Yeah, I know. So there were some red flags, and I ignored them, and I need to learn from that. Definitely watch how they treat other people. I didn't like the way he talked about his daughter-in-law, and so that was bad. And I ignored it because he paid for me, and he paid for Aiden, and he saw Aiden as a team, and so I ignored the red flags. But I've learned tremendously from it. I've also, God, I hope Aiden, okay, I really have to. No more online dating. Aiden has found a matchmaker for me, okay? It costs money, a lot of money. I was trying to be cheap. I was just like, it's not like what was I on Match.com where it was like $30 a month? No, this isn't little.
Of course it's cheap. Why do you think people wanting to just find friends with benefits?
Yeah, I know. It's cheap, yeah. And I've done other dating things and they're terrible. So I'm going to go to a matchmaker because Johanna Banana can't pick her guy. No, I'm going to tell the matchmaker where I'm coming from, what I'm looking for. I'm not really particular. I don't have a type. Aiden has seen them all. Short, tall, fat, sometimes Aiden's like, my God, but it's because I'm trying to get to know the person, and I really want the person. I want to mesh well with that person. That's why I always say mesh. If I was an entrepreneur, I'd start an online dating site called Mesh, because it's really important. You don't want to change anybody. Especially at our age, when you get to a certain age, you don't want to change. So you either mesh well or you don't, and so I learned from it. Anyways, I'm going to be wrapping up this Johanna Banana Live. I'm going to be wrapping it up now. Everything I have, so I have learned from it, and now with the wrap up, I'm going to go with the matchmaker, but not right now. I'm still getting over. Oh yes, let's nickname this guy. I forgot to do his nickname. Okay, so his initials were AS. So we were calling this guy, because you know how I nickname all my guys. It makes it just a little less painful. He's going to be called, since his initials are AS, he's going to be called as if I would ever be a fuck buddy to you. Because that's when my little brother Brandon, when I told him what happened and how he was just like, I don't want to call you every day. I don't want to have to come, he was saying he only want to come over like once a week after that. My little brother was like, why didn't you just say friends with benefits? So as if I would ever be friends with benefits with you. No, never happened. Anyways, so once I heal from that, I'm thinking next year, when I get through the holidays, I'm going to go with the matchmaker. Yep. That's what we're going to do.
But shouldn't we show the images now?
What? Oh, yes. We're ending on a good note. Yes. Let's go back to our positive note. KP's baby. KP's a wonderful mom. Let's show the pictures of baby John. Oh, my God. He's so precious. Oh. Look at that eyes. Look at that expression. Oh, and you know how I love my donuts, so I had to post that picture. Next, look at that. See, is that not KP's eyes right there? That's KP's eyes. Oh my God. Those are called, I think they're called Uggs. And Mamacita got that for him. Yeah, but they stay on because poor KP was losing socks. Yeah. Oh. Socks were falling off. Doesn't he look so cute? Oh my God, he's just so adorable. The two of them are so cute. And you know what's so nice? KP, oh my God, she is taking time off. She's not going to go back until February. This is how much she just couldn't couldn't wait to spend time with her son. She really did put her kid first. She saved up all this money and so that she could take 5 months off of work just to be a mom. And she is an incredible mom. I still can't believe you're a mom sometimes, KP. But because, when I first met her, she's like, I hope I'm sterile. Yeah. We all know that dog groomers and kids don't always mix well. That's why they hang out with animals. But yeah, I know, it really is true, Aiden. A lot of, but the good thing is she's a great mom and she's like so natural at being a mother. It's just amazing. But, I think it's because she was an aunt first. I think it was an aunt.
True.
Yeah. She wasn't like me. I was an only child. Before I popped you out, Aiden, I'd only held 2 babies in my entire life. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to kill this kid. But you're a wonderful mom, KP. She's a wonderful friend to me. She has been my best friend. I've known her the longest out of everybody. And she knew my dad, and oh my God, I just love you, girl. And to all my friends out there, I love you all. And to my cousin with the pool, I called you immediately after I came in the door crying over as if, and you were there for me, and you always calm me down, and you're always like, it's going to be okay, kiddo. It's not the end of the world. And I'm breathing, and I'm like, okay. And so thank you to everybody that has supported me in this relationship. Sydney, you were great. And I want to also end on a positive note because I am a male basher. I male bash a lot, and grandma, my stepmother, before she passed away, she used to say, oh, Johanna, you have such a chip on your shoulder about men. And, oh, Johanna, you're going to have a boy. Well, I have a right to have a chip on my shoulder for these guys, okay? And she was with my dad. So, of course, she'd be like, guys are wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to do a tribute to some guys. I know that not all men are like as if, or all the other guys I dated. From the mooch, I shouldn't generalize everything, but... and I know there are good guys out there. That's why I'm still looking for the one, because I know it can work. My parents, my dad and my stepmother had a fabulous marriage, and there was true love there, and I saw that, and they really loved each other. My consultant L and Mr. D have a fabulous marriage, wonderful kids, 2 grandkids. And when I see, I like to watch people when they don't know I'm watching them, but when I see them interact together, I mentioned in a past episode, they had a wonderful talk when Ukraine first started the Ukraine war, and he was kind of, Mr. D knows all this stuff about war, and so he was kind of breaking it down for consultant L. I saw the love between them, and my girlfriend Sydney, you were there for me, girl, after I told you about As If. She's like, are you still with the Latino guy? And I'm like, no. She was there for me too, and she has a fabulous boyfriend too. Great boyfriend. I think it kind of helped because they met organically. Yeah, she didn't meet him online, so maybe that helped.
Neither of them had intentions for anything.
Yeah, they had no intentions. They were friends first, and he's a great guy. So I know, and I just became friends with another guy that's awesome, and he's a great guy. So I know that not all guys are like that. Not all guys are looking for the booty. There are really good guys out there. There are even guys like this guy, that I just recently met on Snapchat. He's had more friends that are women than men. And so there are guys that can have platonic friendships with women. My little brother, he and I are really good friends. And so I know there are good guys out there. I just need to find one that I mesh well with, that's all. But yes, that keeps me going. I think about my dad, I think about Mr. D, I think about Sydney's guy, I think about my other friend, she has a great boyfriend too. I think about these guys, and I know there are good guys out there that know how to treat the women they're with. And that's why I know what love looks like and what love doesn't look like. Anyways, thank you for watching Johanna Banana Live. I hope I did okay. I hope you could understand everything I said. I tried to slow down.
If you're still awake, wake up.
If you're still awake, wake up to the guys out there. Yeah, anyways, thank you for watching Johanna Banana.
Let me end it. Eve, everybody.
Thank you.
I was referring to the stream about waking up, not a relationship.